which at least 3 million Americans. I say at least because a lot of people still undiagnosed. They still don't understand a lot about this disease. My mom has it as well, which is why it's so near and dear to my heart. These are people who can't ingest gluten, a protein found in wheat, in barley, and rye, and a lot of people just don't know how to cope with it. It's difficult after diagnosis. Here with some great recipes is Rob Landolfi, the author of Gluten-Free Every Day. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Why is it so important to you? Why this book?
Well, actually, my wife became very ill around 1997. She actually had hair loss, rashes all over her body. Eventually, it led to reproductive system shutdown completely. We finally diagnosed it the year 2000. She went on a gluten-free diet for 2 years. It took for her body to completely heal itself. And in 2004, we gave birth to our first son, Joseph Anthony. So it's a miracle diet for us.
Congratulations to you. All right, so we're going to provide you with more tips on celiac on the webpage. But first, let's talk about what you need to avoid and what you can have with a gluten-free diet.
Well, again, you know, a lot of people think they've got to give up onion rings. They have to give up biscuits, pies, pizza crusts. Not true. You have to retrain yourself a little bit.
Okay.
You have to learn how to use some of these gluten-free flours that are out there. White rice flour, brown rice flour, sorghum flour, and some of the starches, tapioca starch, corn starch, and of course, good old xanthan gum.
Can it taste the same? Can it taste good? And what are we going to make?
It can taste good. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do onion rings. Okay. This is a little tapioca flour in here. And what I always tell people, chili powder, is you want to over-season. Cumin, cayenne pepper, a little bit of salt. And right here, a little bit of egg yolks. That's what's going to hold this all together for us.
Okay.
All right, and then good old gluten-free beer. I don't know if you tell your mother about this. You know?
Well, now that Mom can get beer, we're happy again.
That's right.
All right, great. So this will whip up with the consistency that a regular flour-based...
Exactly. The eggs is what's going to help this, because there's no gluten in here, of course. So the eggs are what are going to help bind and make our onion rings, or the batter, stick to the onions themselves. Now, what's great about this batter is this batter can actually be used for shrimp. It can be used for clams, anything like that. Hey, say some for me. We just want to mix that up. There it is.
Let's have this segment be a half an hour.
And there's about 6 or 7 gluten-free beers out there on the market today, and they're actually all really, really decent.
Okay, so just let's just show this consistency for 1 second. It's a nice batter, right? It's a beautiful batter. All right.
So couple onions in there.
Right. Boom. We're going to dip them around, dredge them a little bit, and right into our pot of oil. Let's talk about cross-contamination for a second, can we? Because this is an allergy, so people can have food which has been...
It's funny, it's actually an autoimmune disorder, but we look at it as an allergy, because it's just easier in the restaurants to kind of approach it that way. Cross-contamination is an issue. The best thing to do, especially if you're visiting restaurants, get the manager involved. Pull the manager aside, say, I have celiac disease, I can't have wheat, gluten, etc. He'll talk to the wait staff, he'll talk to the chefs in the kitchen, and he'll make sure you have a good meal and make sure they use fresh pans, that there's no flour being used, check the salad dressings, etc.
Perfect.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Okay.
All right, buttermilk biscuits. This is what you're going to do.
Okay.
You got a little bit of tapioca flour in here. You're just going to go right up, right there. You've got a little bit of white rice flour.
Okay.
That's a little bit of sweet rice flour, which is actually different from white rice. It's a short grain rice, really, really starchy.
Okay.
Cornstarch. And potato starch.
And potato starch, which is a lot of breads used.
Exactly.
Right?
Potato starch and starches are what are going to hold it together here.
Okay.
All right, what you got right there is you've got a little bit of baking powder.
Okay.
A little bit of xanthan gum.
Xanthan gum.
A little baking soda.
A little bit of this.
A little bit of salt and sugar.
A little bit of that.
And then you're going to go with a little bit of shortening there.
Okay.
And butter first. Put that in first.
Go. Okay.
And you're going to want to cut that in. Just use this pastry cutter.
All right, we got about a minute left as we make our...
These look great.
Our dough here.
Just pull these right out.
Take out our onion rings. Okay. We're chopping that up.
Now what you're going to do is go right in with your buttermilk.
Okay. A nice, thick, consistent milk.
And then you can use your wooden spoon there. Just stir it right up.
And we're going to stir that up, and this is what we wind up getting.
Actually, no, this is pizza dough.
Oh.
We just put this out there to show you that it's actually a dough. It's not a batter. It's got a great smell.
Well, you mix this up. You form it.
Then what you're going to do is you just take your ice cream scoop, just like so.
Come on in, guys.
And just put it right onto your pan. You bake it at about 325 degrees for about 12 to 13 minutes.
And you wind up with?
You wind up with these flaky, hot buttermilk biscuits. They're beautiful. They're nice and flaky. They're delicious. I got some butter and honey over there to go with them.
We brought the pizza too.
It's so important. Thanks for all of these great recipes. And for tips on cooking without gluten and more on celiac, earlyshow.cbs.com. Dig in, guys. Rob, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great day. Great.